All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
Ain't no rules.
There is no plan.
No safety net.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
The Three Noes Podcast.
Oh, pitter patter, let's get at her.
It's just like winning a Formula One race. Cheers. Hi, welcome to the Three Noes Podcast. Holy shit. I'm Mike.
Oh, I'm Jason.
You had me.
I know. I've confused it once or twice, and yes, I get the stink eye, and yes, you always feel shitty about it. But
ooh, that was almost
wow.
Wow. Oh, you had me thinking in a different direction.
Wow. One conversation before we go on air, and it totally screws up the wiring.
Goldfish-like memory retention. So how many days?
How many days?
235.
Let me double check. 235.
Nice.
235 and still going strong. You know, I've had some things over the last week or two that do push that a little bit, but nothing, not as bad as last week. Like when I got through that whole sob story. Yeah. Nothing quite that bad, but still, things get to a point where I kind of want it.
Stress is stress, bro.
But no, doing good.
Do you know what's better than like dealing with stress?
What's that?
Smoking weed, not smoking weed. I think it's just start punching the wife.
No, because she would hit back and
family boxing night.
Well, that's a good workout.
You know what?
It is supposed to be a good workout.
Absolutely. Not too many fat boxers out there.
No.
Not too many. I didn't say there isn't any.
That's true. Yep.
There's a couple out there.
Gotta watch the wording.
Right. It's all right. I'm fat. I can say it.
I'm not fat. I'm big boned.
No, I'm fat.
I'm not fat. I'm pleasantly plump.
Yeah, well, I'm not pleasant. So we went to go see a movie.
We did.
The other day.
We did.
This was the 25th anniversary of the Kevin Smith Dogma.
Yes. Arguably my favorite Kevin Smith movie, and I only say arguably because Clerks 3 has come out since, like in recent years, and it holds high regard in my heart. Yeah. So it's hard for me to pick a favorite Kevin Smith movie at this point. Between that and Jersey Girl, that's also in the running because I do love Jersey Girl.
Like I said, I've always said, and I'll always. This is like my favorite Kevin Smith movie is Chasing Amy. Mm-hmm. There's just that emotional connection there in that movie with it. But Dogma is good, really, really good at making a connection with people of faith would lean one way or the other when it comes to this movie.
Which is, as he even points out, it's stupid. It's a movie with a rubber poop monster in it. You can't take it seriously.
You shouldn't.
No.
And I said I was reading some of the information on IMDb about Dogma, and the guy that led the protests about it, like 6 weeks or something before the movie came out, and he's like, he was like one of the leaders of the church or something like that in there.
Keep going. Crystal, I don't think it's anything.
So he's going on about this movie is a sin, and he's like setting up protests, and everybody's just like, okay, you haven't even seen it yet. Mm-hmm. So the trivia is saying this guy gets a hold of Kevin at his office, and he goes, "Can you give me a screener of this? That way I can make an intelligent decision about this movie." And Kevin's response was, "Well, what was all these decisions leading up to this?" Right. Like, it's basically just called the guy dumbass.
Right.
And that's the thing. Like, you're protesting something you didn't know nothing about.
Mm-hmm. Which happens so often.
Yeah. Like, get your information, and then you can make whatever argument for or against this. I just look at it as entertainment.
Exactly.
Like, the Blues Brothers, kind of in the same vein. We're on a mission from God. Mm-hmm. Like, why isn't everybody up in arms about that?
Yep. I mean, the nun beats them up when they try to say that.
Right.
And Aretha Franklin tells them, don't blaspheme in
Don't
here.
you blaspheme in here. Yeah. So everybody like I said, they got a hill they want to fucking die on.
Yep.
And whatever somehow crosses the wires in their thinking when it comes to certain things, they're just like, we can't stand this. What do you know about it? Nothing but the mere concept of what that is offends me to my core.
What is the leading cause of most wars in human history?
Yeah, miscommunication
Of religion.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
That's usually what it comes
well, there is that Helena Troy thing. It was like all about it.
I said most causes.
Okay.
Most causes, yes. There are a
some
few
guys you
others.
just got to fight over a chick
Yep.
and get it done. Get it out of
Women
your-
and religion. There's your two top leaders
gotta
for
be
cause of war.
Gotta
right there.
be. I'm no expert in history, but
No.
this seems valid.
Yep, sure.
But Dogma,
Dogma is just it still holds up.
Yeah.
Every bit of it holds up.
new 4K remaster,
Yeah, so it looked nice.
looked good, sounded good.
Yep.
Very young Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
Yep. The whole
Very-
cast just
Yeah.
like most of them we still see around out the ones that are still with us, of course. And they aged.
How dare they?
How dare they?
How dare they? But it always tickles me. Kevin's View Askew-niverse, who he always has in his movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like Brian O'Halloran and Jeff Anderson make cameos.
Yep.
Brian Johnson and Walt Flanagan make cameos.
Yep.
Brian Quinn
Yes.
makes a cameo.
And he was early into their world at that point.
very early. And Ming Chen as well.
Where was Ming in this?
Ming Chen was the Asian dude sitting at the strip club, sitting beside Bob.
I think I always miss him in that scene.
He's right there. He's
I
sitting.
don't think I've ever noticed him there.
Yep, he's sitting right beside Silent Bob.
I still, to this day, don't think I've ever noticed Ming Chen.
Yep, he's there.
God damn it.
Yep.
Now I got to watch it again.
You got to watch it again.
Darn.
Oh no. But yeah, like Quinn being like he just. If this was 1999 when Dogma came out, going back to the lore of The Office, Quinn just started.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just finally got his foot in the door. And they're like, you want to be in a movie?
Now, is he another one that kind of came through the message board stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So Quinn,
Ming ran the message board.
Ming started the message
Started
board.
it, okay.
So Kevin started the View Askew website, and he was more of like a bulletin board at that point in time. And then Ming was in University of Michigan, was a huge fan of Clerks. Finally, he gets a hold of Kevin somehow, some way, and he goes, I will build you a proper website. And Kevin's like, okay. So
That's how you do it.
yep. So Ming has been around pretty much from the beginning. Q got in. Did you ever hear the story how Q?
I don't, if I did, it was so long ago, I do not remember.
Okay. So they used to produce like script books about movies and stuff like that, like picture books with the scripts written in it. Q goes to a local bookstore, and he asked the guy, like, do you have, I think it was like Clerks or Mallrats or something like that. And the guy's like, why? Who did that? There's like, I've never heard of this guy. And Q came back, and he recorded this interaction with this guy, and he started to lambasted him about his poor life choices by not having Kevin Smith centric picture books in this.
Okay.
So he sent this recording to Kevin.
Okay, so recorded bullying. Got
Recorded bullying. Sent it to Kevin. Kevin's just like, I got to meet this guy. So I think Q was just starting at the fire department in New York. So he's done this recording, sent it to Kevin. Kevin's like, come on over, like, let's talk. So Q goes over and talks to Kevin. And Kevin's like, do you want to work for me? And Q's like, yes. So Q basically ends up, he's the guy that stuffs orders.
Okay.
So like whatever merch was at the VSQ headquarters at the point in time, Q was the guy to take the orders and stuff them.
That explains why when I got more in depth with it, when I started listening to Tell 'em Steve, Dave, and whatnot, it was Q was the one talking about merch.
Yes.
When they started doing vinyls and all that kind of stuff, like that, it makes sense that he would be the one spearheading a lot of that because he already had the know on it.
Yeah. So Q was also already part of the Tenderloins comedy troupe.
Yes.
That turned into Impractical Jokers.
Yeah, were they like high school or something? Like
I think that's
college?
where I think it was college where they started working together. So Q got big independent of Kevin. Mm-hmm. So they kind of,
that Impractical Jokers, I've only seen a handful of bits from it, but it has its following.
it's over 12 seasons now.
Yeah, yep.
It's a massive
and
hit.
what, 2 movies?
Yep. So finally, not too long ago, a couple of years or so ago, there was a confession.
Uh-oh.
A confession was made by Brian Quinn.
Uh-oh.
The thing that he did, the recording that he made, all a fabrication.
Built on a lie.
Built on lies.
Well, considering he came from a sketch comedy troupe, that does not surprise me.
No. So,
Does not surprise me at all.
No, he wanted in. Somehow, some way he wanted in. And he had to figure out, he had to get Kevin's attention somehow.
Did Kevin appreciate?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's going to go to the effort to do something like that.
Right. Right.
Especially back then.
Yes. Because
nowadays you can make a video in like 5 minutes. and
Exactly.
Done, right? No, he would have had to put work into that
yeah,
shit.
so it was not an easy process in getting the audio confrontation made and sent. So Kevin, and like, of course Kevin's going to like it because it's like one of my fans is lambasting some innocent shop clerk over something he's got no control over.
Kev is a narcissist.
Oh, hell yeah. So,
But when you got to push your brand, you push your brand. So, hey, why not?
but yeah, so that's how Brian Quinn.
I would say Kevin Smith is probably one of the most likable narcissists on the planet.
Yes. I don't disagree with that statement because but it also falls into the idea of if you're not going to promote yourself, who's going to do it for you?
Yep.
So Kevin Smith, the brand of Kevin Smith is Kevin Smith. Mm-hmm. And the brand of Jason Mewes, which is like newly launched and like completely separated from, well, not completely separated from the brand of Kevin Smith, but those two are joined inexorably for life.
Yep.
But
Hetero life mates. And Kevin is his brand. Mm-hmm. And we met the queen of the gatekeepers. Yes, we did.
And there's the queen's hatchet lady is is never too far away. Yep. So Jen Schwabach, she is the most stalwart gate to the life of Kevin Smith, and Jordan Monsanto is not too far away from that level of protection.
But Jordan's the one that kind of keeps it all organized too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Does she still do all that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And she's
And 2 kids now.
two
so
kids in.
Kinda
I
good.
said I don't think she's in a salt mine of
Well,
Kevin Smith. So
I'm sure she has underlings and whatnot still. Yes.
hey,
But
yeah, being the major domo that she is of the scene. So
Not that their network is like massive or anything by any standard, but still he spins a lot of plates and does a lot of things. So
and he's always producing.
Yep.
That's his thing. He's always producing. And I know we were told by a certain director that he's considered the false prophet for every independent content creator out there. Everybody looks at Smith. It's like, oh, well, if he can do it. Well, no, he's pretty singular.
he did it in an era where it was a lot more harder to get noticed.
Yes.
Now it's a lot harder to get noticed now, but in a completely different way. It's a lot harder to get noticed in his day just because of lack of options. Yeah. Now there's too many options.
Yeah. Well, the gatekeepers from back in the day, there was a massive amount of, like, if you didn't know somebody, you're not getting in. Mm-hmm. Now you're just another fish in the ocean.
You got to be able to cut through all the noise, stand out in some way, and you have to have everything behind you. Like, you have to make sure you have everything covered. You can't have any black marks in your past or anything like that, because they'll shut you down before they even consider you because you made one false step somewhere.
Right.
So yeah, it's a completely different era in the film world now.
Yeah.
So
but in that sense, it's also completely democratized that anybody can make anything and put it out. The sheer volume of content that's out in the world these days is incredible.
it's somewhat baffling and disheartening.
Not baffling at all.
Well, no,
it's because of our phones.
I know what I'm trying to say is it's baffling and kind of disheartening as to what breaks through the noise sometimes. What tends to go viral, what people consider to be entertainment these days, is so mind-bogglingly different to what I generally enjoy sometimes.
Yeah, I get it. Like, we are now living in the world of shorts and reels. Mm-hmm. So if you can't make something within 10 seconds that's going to capture somebody's attention, forget it. You're not going to go to that next level. Guys like us, we're just going to keep producing stuff like this for guys like us, because we're the ones that are like, I remember actually having to sit down and watch a movie on TV with commercials.
Yep.
Not 30-second blocks of commercials, but 2 minutes and 30 seconds blocks twice in the show.
Guess what Netflix is? It is old school TV.
Yeah.
It's just you're not on a specific time schedule.
Yeah, no.
I just finished rewatching the first season of One Piece, the live action, and it has commercial breaks.
30-second breaks, right?
Yes, but still, they're commercial breaks. They're 30 seconds to up to a minute, depending on the ad.
Okay.
But they're commercial breaks.
Yeah.
And a streaming service that I pay, yes, I'm on the lowest tier, so I'm going to get that. But still, it's just like watching network TV. They have commercial breaks.
Yep. Yep. I watched.
We've come around full circle that we're back to the commercial breaks.
Yeah. Well, the streaming services, they're struggling somehow, some way to generate the profit margins that they need
because there's too many options out
there's
there.
too many options. Like every company has their own stream. What are you doing, Kat?
Got the zoomies.
But they have to advertise because their profit margins are getting eaten away from. I'm on the lowest tier of Netflix, and like I've seen people like, oh, I can't watch Netflix anymore. It's got commercials. I went, it's a 30-second block.
Yeah, Tubi's completely free,
Yeah.
and their ads are a lot longer. But I'll still put up with it if it's the only place I can find certain movies.
I don't dislike Tubi for that.
No.
But again, like, sure, it's a commercial block. We're used to, guys like me and you. Gen X is used to these commercial blocks. It doesn't mean anything to us.
Pee break.
Exactly.
Yes, you can pause at any time, I
Right.
know, but still, a commercial break reminds you, hey, I should go pee now.
Yeah. So it gives us that muscle memory flex of, okay, commercial break, run up, go pee real fast, grab a snack, and try and make it back to the couch. It's back on, hurry. So yeah. So I miss that.
A little bit.
But like,
there's a nostalgia factor there for sure.
being able to hit pause, it's not the same.
It's just not the same. No, it's not, because there's no rush
No.
to your break.
No.
You know, you don't have to hurry back. It'll
It's
be
like,
there.
and like I said, when you know the commercial break's coming, like, we got so used to watching shows, we knew when the commercial break was coming up. We could feel the flow of the show.
A lot of shows would have certain telltale signs in the score.
Yeah, the
like
writing
certain
beats,
certain music notes, or you hear that one little kind of thing at the end of a scene. Okay, this is gonna be a commercial.
Yeah, then it's the foot race to get to the bathroom first.
Yep. If there's more than one of you there. Yep.
That's right. I miss this part of like TV from growing up.
Hey, because it just hit me. Do you know is Chasing Amy on any of the streaming services?
I don't know.
Okay, thought you might know. No. I haven't looked. But I had somebody ask me last night because he saw I was wearing my Dogma shirt.
Yeah.
And I told him about the screening and whatnot. He'd heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he said Dogma might be available now through Apple TV, like to rent.
Okay.
Then I said that's got to be a recent thing because it's not on any streaming service.
No.
But he said Chasing Amy is not there, but he hadn't looked either. I know a lot of their stuff is on Prime. Mm-hmm. I think the entire Clerks run is on there for sure. But I have not dug any farther to find where Chasing Amy is.
Chasing Amy streaming. Why are you... can't shut up.
And this brings up that conversation of like how some movies just aren't out there. They're not on any streaming service anywhere. And it's because of who owns the rights or whatever. Dogma was not available for the longest time until recently. That sort of thing. And it's because every once in a while a movie gets referenced that I should watch, and it's not found on any streaming service. That's why I keep my eye patch in my peg leg. And that's all I'll say about that. What's that?
This is saying Amazon.
Does it say rent or buy underneath that?
Probably. Why? This is just...
So it's not available for streaming. You can just rent it or buy it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Which I'll never understand buying a digital thing like that.
Okay, this is saying Chasing Amy, Apple TV, and Fubco. Fubu?
I don't know what that one is.
I don't know.
But
either.
it is on Apple TV? Okay.
It's saying it's on Apple TV for rent for $4.
I will let him know that it should be on there as well.
Yeah.
Because I know he said he saw Dogma on there. So
Prime Video, so that's probably like a rent or a
but you can
buy
get
situation.
like Apple TV channel through Prime.
Yeah.
Prime is weird where you can get all the other streaming channels through it.
That is odd. Oh, fuck off. Hey, just everything is working great.
Yeah.
We'll
But now back to Dogma.
Yep.
Okay. You know what made going to see it in the theater even a little bit more special for me? It was having my kids there. Like Sky and I, yes, we bonded over Jay and Bob since Strike Back.
Yeah.
Okay. That's when she first fell in love with them, and we've been hooked ever since.
No fly. That's my beer.
And Tally's just become such a movie guy now.
Yeah.
He's grown an appreciation for a lot of Kevin's stuff now too. So.
Our conversation to and from in the car.
Now, don't get me wrong. Tally and I's taste in movies are vastly different in general. Like, Tally watches a lot of movies.
Yeah.
He watches a lot of the newest movies. He watches all the Oscar movies. He makes it a point to watch them all.
Okay.
So, and then he'll hype up certain movies to me. And yeah, they might be good movies. They're not movies I'm generally going to go for. Might take me a while to finally pull the trigger on it.
Yeah.
A lot of them are just over bloated dramatic pieces that, it's a good movie. Like,
Tone it down.
yeah, it's a little much. Right now, he keeps hyping on because there's a new horror movie out now, Bring Her Back. The guy who made that, his last movie is called Talk to Me. It came out like a year and a half ago, I think.
Okay.
He's been hyping that one for a while, so I should shut him up and finally watch that one. But he doesn't steer me wrong. Like, I haven't watched a bad flick.
Yeah.
It's just they're not my bag, so it's hard for me to enjoy them.
He has a certain taste and flavor that he's a big fan of.
I would call him a cinephile for sure. Okay. He's into the art of it more. Not that he's into art house flicks, but he's watched a lot of that kind of stuff over time.
The art of the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is a big fan of Wes Anderson.
Kind of hard not to be a fan of Wes Anderson.
Yeah,
so.
for the most part. I got snake bit by Asteroid City. I did not. That one was...
Go back and watch something else.
Like Budapest Hotel was great, yes.
Yeah.
And I know there's others, so yes.
Darjeeling Tea.
I've never watched the Darjeeling Unlimited.
I think I've seen it once.
Oh God.
But I know I've watched Grand Budapest a couple times.
Bill Murray, Willem Dafoe, the Jacques Cousteau, the William Zissou.
The Life Aquatic.
Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, yes. Weird, but it is funny.
Yeah. So.
But they're not, there might be a few scenes where it's like laugh out loud funny, but they're generally not funny like that. They're more funny in that this is just so weirdly ridiculous.
Sly humor.
Yeah.
I
kind of like Napoleon Dynamite to me was that kind of that way.
Yep.
Where it's just outside of real, and it's kind of ridiculous.
Napoleon Dynamite had a level of slapstick comedy in it.
A little bit.
It was different from a lot of the comedy out there. Like
very low key.
It is low key. It's just his delivery of his lines and everything else about it was just like it wasn't fucking Dumb and Dumber,
right?
And I liked Napoleon Dynamite because of how it was delivered to me,
because it is so different from other things. Yes.
Uncle Rico.
Like
when we start getting the trivia about poor old Uncle Rico. So yeah, Uncle Rico being a devout vegan who's forced to eat a steak in every scene that he was in.
Sky was like infatuated with Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh yeah,
like she was like hardcore. And at one point, like Christmas gift, we found a pen where every time you click it, it would say it had like 6 different phrases from the movie.
Nice.
And one of them was, "Tina, you fat lard, come eat some dinner." What's my wife's best friend's name?
Oh no!
So whenever she would come over, I would go grab Sky's pen, cue it up to that line, click, to the right one area. Just walk by her right next to her ear, and I'd usually get something thrown at me.
Of course. There's always that comeuppance, but it's worth it.
It's worth it.
No, Dogma. Alan Rickman as Metatron, the voice.
Mm-hmm.
What a pull. What an absolute, just out of nowhere.
Yep.
Like, how do you get Alan Rickman to be in a freaking Kevin Smith movie?
He wanted to.
He wanted to be in
yes.
it. Yeah.
He'd heard about Kevin and and wanted to work with Kevin.
They became friends.
Yes.
Like friends in real life.
Because Rickman wanted to. As Kevin, we heard that story again. Like they, after the screening, they had showed 20 minutes of a Q&A that Kevin had at the first screening for the Resurrection tour back in April. And he said it again. No, it was Rickman made that happen. Yeah. Every time I'd go to England, Rickman's like, I hear you're in town. I'm taking you to dinner.
You're in my country.
You're in my country. I'm taking you to dinner. Mm-hmm. I'm in your country. You're taking me to dinner.
And I said Rickman suggested it was Emma Thompson to play God.
Yes.
And Kevin's like, I don't know Emma Thomas.
Yep. And the only reason that didn't happen was scheduling.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason Emma Thompson did not play God in that movie.
So we get Alanis Morissette.
Yes.
Of all.
Yes.
Jagged Little Pill, Alanis Morissette.
Because Kevin loves so much of Canada.
Yes.
That he sneaks little bits like that in all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I remember Kevin, I think it was like talking about behind the scenes of Dogma when I was making him and Alanis walking around Pittsburgh in the middle of the night, just talking. Like neither one of them can sleep, and they're like, I'm going to go for a walk. Like Kevin's cutting the movie, and Alanis is there, and he's like, I need a break. And they just walked around Pittsburgh together.
That's crazy.
So
crazy. My favorite story from Dogma is Muse.
Mm-hmm.
How Muse memorized the entire script, not just his lines. Everybody's lines. Because Kevin warned him, like, you need to be on your mark. You're dealing with Alan Rickman. He's British. They invented acting.
That's right.
You don't want to piss him off.
Nope.
And Jay was afraid. I don't want to piss off that Rickman guy.
Nope. He's a real actor.
Yeah, Kevin's like, he realized he memorized the whole script. He goes, yeah, I don't want to piss off Rickman.
See, I'm jealous because of the ability of people like that to retain that kind of information, to memorize a script like this. My cognitive faculties seem to have taken a shit kicking.
Oh, I worry about it now. Yes, I know I did my stage stuff back, in the before times, but all my roles were smaller, so I didn't have a lot to have to work with, but I still had some.
Yeah.
Cogsworth and Beauty and the Beast had quite a few lines, actually. Yeah. But nowadays, that scares the shit out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because my attention and whatnot is just totally shot. So
wow. I said, it's just the accumulation of time on our phones and everything else is just like, it all adds up to stuff going away that you kind of need, and it's important to us.
Yeah.
And
I also like the story we heard that night of Carlin. And when Carlin first met Kevin, Kev reached out to him. He really wanted Carlin to play the Cardinal.
Yep.
And when Carlin read the script and got back to him, he's like, yeah, I feel like I'm owed a writing credit. I feel like there's a lot of my material, man.
Yep. If you're going to steal from the best.
Exactly.
So I totally get
trying
to steal Carlin's material. So we can't not go a conversation without quoting Carlin stuff. Majority of the time.
A lot of times, yep. Because he was iconic, and and he more than just a comedian. He really was a scholar in a way,
philosopher.
Yes,
just his social commentary, especially later in his career, in his life, is just like he ripped the curtain back so far and so many times. People are like, oh yeah, like the it's a big club and you're not in it speech was just like, oh yeah, George, please, like, stop breaking my heart. I know I'm laboring under the illusion of like I have control. No, I don't. Yep. So it's just like,
was Carlin a sub-genius?
I'm sure he was aware of the sub-geniuses, but I know Penn Jillette. Yeah, Penn Jillette is a sub-genius.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So there's a documentary about the church and Ivan Stang and Philo Drummond and J.R. Bob Dobbs and talking about the sub-geniuses. there's a huge amount of people, celebrities, that were like, I identify with this. And I'm going to keep tabs on it. Like Penn Jillette was like probably the biggest
Okay.
the biggest guy, like Zappa and stuff like that. Like they all knew about it. That's what it was like back in the day. So like late 70s, early 80s, stuff like that when that started. And everybody's like, what is this counterculture and why is it so awesome? So
it'd be hilarious. Things fall apart. Church of Scientology totally implodes, and then the Church of the Subgenius takes over. Buys their land.
Yeah. I don't think the Church of the Subgenius quite has the funding of the Scientologists. So
That's when all the secret celebrity members come out of the woodworks.
probably,
You know, Ryan Reynolds.
it wouldn't surprise me.
No.
So it's the church of the Subgenius stuff is just very performative, and it helps you deal with the air quote conspiracy of the pinks. And if you like worm your way into the, like with this show right here, it can get subversive enough to like, it gets into sliding through the cracks in the foundation of a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And there was like I said, I don't know if you saw that Pedro Pascal, the meme picture.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, that's me. Yeah. That's who I have been for a very long time. And everybody's like, well, why are you always picking on this one side? I said, because that's the side you're on. And there needs to be a counterbalance to everything. And my job is to find the weaknesses in your argument and exploit the living shit out of it and just become the biggest pain in the ass and mock everything.
You need a business card.
Oh,
Mike Lutz, semi-pro shit disturber.
Not a bad idea. Yeah, that could work.
There you go.
But Dogma.
All the way back to Dogma.
All the way back to Dogma.
Still, I know I said it multiple times on the ride home. My favorite line in that movie, and to me, it is one of my favorite lines of all comedy movie lines.
Chris
Rock's line about Jesus. And I can't say the actual word, but
he still owes me $12.
Still owes me $12. I put that up there with where are the white women at from Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
God damn, that's a funny line.
The whole idea of the 13th apostle and being written out of history because he's black is just like, that would blow the hair back on a lot of people. Mm-hmm. That would be such a blasphemous idea to begin with. And then Kevin piles on with like,
well, the one thing they got wrong is Jesus is black.
Jesus is black. And they're like, what? I said, where is the Middle East? Where is Israel? Where is Jerusalem? Where is all these? It's in the Middle East. Mm-hmm. And they're not known for the great quantity of white folk from back in the day.
Nope.
And the idea that God is a woman, that right there is the surest way to start a fight with a lot of churchgoers.
But even right at the very end of that movie, he kind of counters it with the actual logic of it all.
Yeah.
It's not really anything.
Yeah, it's a construct.
He's just in whatever form he decides to take today.
Right. And we saw at the beginning of the movie, God had decided that he was going to take the form of a male.
Yes.
To go play skee because God loves skee ball.
Yep.
Is so happy to go play skee ball.
Once a month.
Addicted to playing skee ball.
Once a month, he takes a constitutional to go play skee ball and gives his tickets away to the local orphans.
Yep.
That whole movie, just what Kevin wrote there. Is it subversive? Yes, but so much of it is actually is pulled from the Bible.
Yep.
It may just be slightly twisted askew, if you will.
Wow. What?
But yeah.
No, his take on the dogma of the church and how Carlin played Cardinal Glick in this is like, we're doing this. It's going to happen no matter what. And this is the way it's going to happen. And when Cardinal Glick was doing the announcement of the rededication of the church, and he's going like this, the house of God, and Bartleby is like, God's not here. And everybody's like, what? So that right there. There was another one. It was a cartoon I saw. It was The Simpsons. It was a Simpsons episode where Reverend Lovejoy is kind of having a crisis of faith.
Okay.
And he's talking to some of the stained glass saints in his church.
I vaguely remember that.
And he's talking about, God, why is this? And one of the stained glass saints says something to the effect of like, yeah, you're just lucky God's not here to see what's going on. God hasn't been here in a long time. And like Lovejoy's like, what? That kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of subversive things directed towards the church. Is it holding up the mirror? Is like, hey, look, this is kind of bad. You guys need to sort your stuff out.
A little bit. Yes.
So when you peel back the layers of protectionism, dogma, you see some of the things that are like the negative aspects of what's going on. And it takes something like The Simpsons and it takes Dogma to show the warts behind it all.
Not only is he like kind of taking stuff out of the Bible and putting a silly spin on them, but it's just the fact that this is in the Bible. This is how ridiculous that book is. It does have this weird shit in it.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to ignore that fact.
No, it's those inconvenient truths that people look at and they're just like, I want to disagree, but I can't disagree with the infallible word of God. That was the whole premise of this movie. Mm-hmm. Bartleby and Loki were going to prove God is not infallible. And that was going to undo the entirety of existence.
Yeah,
kind of a big thing.
That is.
So
that's broad logic.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So God said everybody is sold on the idea that God is infallible. And when somebody is like, "Well, the emperor has no clothes," mm-hmm. Shit goes fucking sideways in a big way.
Yep.
But
I do adore this movie. I don't rewatch it very much anymore, only because I love it that much. I don't want it to become stale. Mm-hmm. So a lot of my truly favorite movies, I maybe watch once a year, if that. So.
Well,
that's by choice. That's by design. I do that on purpose.
We get super cute Selma Hayek as Serendipity.
Oh, yes. Yep.
So,
to me, I find her hotter in that than I did in
Dawn of the Dead. No, Dust to Dawn.
Dust till Dawn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Candy Girls.
Candy Girls.
Such a great scene.
Yeah.
That's a great scene.
Well, they said, and you get Serendipity, the muse, using her power to soak everybody out of their hard-earned cash.
Yep.
So it's fun.
Come on, it doesn't take much to get men to give up their money.
No.
And then, I'm responsible for 9 out of the top 10 box office movies of all time. Just not the one with the kid and the robbers. Somebody had to sell their soul to the devil for that one.
Now, Azrael, the guy that has triggered all of this, Jason Lee, is a demon. And his justification of what he's doing makes sense to me.
Yeah.
He was a muse. He was an artist. And somehow, some way, he pissed off God.
He was inspiration on the war between heaven and hell.
Yeah. So God banished him to become a demon and stuck in hell.
Yep. And
he'd been there for 1,000,000 years, and he was sick and tired of it. And he even I would eradicate everything to not have to go back to hell ever again.
Yep.
I can see his justification.
There is that slight hint of a sympathetic villain there.
Yes. And
a little bit.
Yeah. Kevin, even, like I said, thinking about this, even 1999, Kevin is heavily influenced by strong female characters.
Yeah.
So he's the only person in this movie that really wasn't a bumbling male was Alan Rickman.
Yep.
Was Metatron. Mm-hmm. Everybody else was, as I said, the male fool.
A little bit.
So Bethany was a strong archetype. Serendipity was a strong archetype. Alanis Morissette was God herself.
Yep.
So even then, he was more of a feminist than it was apparent recently.
Sure.
And it's fine.
Yep.
Like he's one of the guys that I like strong female characters. All right, watch a Kevin Smith movie.
Exactly.
So you're definitely going to get a strong female character in a Kevin Smith movie.
Yep.
So
go right back to Clerks.
Yep. Marilyn Gigliotti.
Yep.
You said she was a strong girl. That's
quelled the rebellion with that fire extinguisher.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
So, and still had time to make a lasagna.
Ironic. And he said, just to push my Twitter feed here, I said Marilyn liked my post of the Highland billboard with the Dogma poster and stuff like this.
Oh yeah.
Not only Marilyn Gigliotti, but one Brian O'Halloran liked it as well.
You're best friends. Like
tight. We're tight.
Tight.
Just buds.
It still pissed me off that we met him at that convention in Michigan, and then when I tried to message him directly to try and get him to come on the show, that's when they instituted you have to have the blue check to talk to other blue checks.
Well, I just got blue check today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just looking at it, and I'm just like, I want to see if this blue check is actually worth it. So,
well, I definitely not something I'm going to consider. I'm perfectly fine being a plebe.
I think, I think it's going to be incumbent upon me to be more active on Twitter X to justify it.
I'm active enough for what I want to do. I don't interact a whole lot outside of liking the things that I like. And I have that reflex now. Any post of Logan Paul in regards to wrestling, it's reflexive. Fuck Logan Paul.
Yeah.
So
you're a human macro.
It is a reflex at this point. If I could figure out how to make a hotkey on my phone to do it, to just one button it, I would.
You can make hotkeys.
Really?
Yeah.
I should look into that.
Yeah. Like
I know I'll copy and paste ones in a while, but
but if you are going to text like on my way, You just go like OMW.
Yeah, it actually does that.
Yeah, you can make those hotkeys.
Yeah, but that means anytime I hit the letter F, it's just going to go fuck Logan.
Oh no, I think you have to put like
Multiple letters?
the multiple letters. So like you can set it up. Like if you're like fuck Logan Paul, you put like FLP.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I should. I'll
Look into it.
I have to look into that.
Yeah.
Because it looks like he ain't going anywhere anytime soon. So
No.
damn it.
Speaking of which, did you watch any of the Money in the
Fuck
Bank?
no.
Okay.
I've seen a few clips, but
I did. Well, okay, I watched some of it.
pause for 1 second.
Okay.
How's your back? How's your sciatic?
It's better. A little bit better.
Moving all right?
Yeah, moving him. Okay. I said I like.
What the hell did you do to set it off?
I drove to Wallsburg and back.
Well, why did you do something silly like that?
Because my wife. So my wife was doing respite for her brother, and we had to take him back home.
You know you can't do that in your old age.
Fucking 40.
You were fine for the trip in my little car to London and back.
Don't understand. Maybe there's some sort of Korean magic in the Kia or the Hyundai seats.
Yes. That's exactly it.
All that hidden kimchi
I use the seat warmers all the time.
Oh, hell yeah. It's not because I'm cold. I'm keeping my back loose.
Yep.
No, they said I got back home last night from dropping Peter off, and I'm just like, I want to die right now. Like I said, my back, my ass, and my leg was dipped in fire, and I'm just like, the thought of sitting in the chair for hours after, it's just like, no, I just can't do it.
Gaming is gaming, but those chairs are uncomfortable. Okay, there's a reason why Warren brings an extra cushion, and I've considered it too. So
yeah, but it's just it's this sciatica thing. Like I said, it flares up once in a while. Like I can go for a drive all over the place. But whatever happens, like one day or something, like I'm going to go to Erio and like this, and I get there, it's like, it just.
You get that all the time, you know, you move, you turn your neck the wrong way, and then boom, you got a kink in it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially as we get older. So
fuck getting old.
As long as you're, can't stop it, man.
Sure. Well, technically you can.
Well, but
we're not doing that.
That's not the option we want right now. Okay.
But, yeah, it's just like camping, relatively rough camping that I went on those 3 days, like 2 days on a cot kind of thing. Not bad. Didn't feel bad at all. And said the drive to and from the camp, not bad. But fucking last night, I don't know what happened. But on my way to Wallsburg, I'm just like, oh. Like, I'm like halfway there. And I'm just like, I knew that pain. And I just like, fuck.
I've gotten a pinched nerve back there, but I've never had anything like that. So I count myself lucky.
Yeah, I count myself lucky that it's very transitory. Like it's not a constant thing. Like I could not imagine life like I know people that have had constant sciatica, and I'm just like, I don't want that for anybody. And I say I got home after everything, and I just I laid down on the bed, and I was just trying to find the right position, and it finally got something where the pressure was coming off, and I'm just like, okay, don't move. don't like this is where we need to be for the rest of our lives. So after a while, I think it was after you drop Carter off, and he was just like, okay, it's starting to loosen up a little bit. I said I took
the cinnamon bun helped, right?
No, actually I ate that this morning. Oh. Fucking delicious.
Yeah, it's a new recipe. So
she ate. Good on her.
Yep.
So, no, I took an ibuprofen just to try and take the edge off of everything. And man, I watched Money in the Bank. I was like, oh, the mental pain of this show is masking the physical pain that I'm in right now.
You want something to take your mind off that pain?
This is the pain. It was a pain diversion therapy. That's
All right.
what I can think of it as. But yeah, this sciatica thing. This is relatively new development.
How many times have you had it hit?
In varying degrees. I can have it almost every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But sometimes it's just like not as bad. And then there's sometimes like last night is like, I wish to die kind of thing. So, but it's just one of those comes and goes. Like I can go for a drive for hours. Nary a problem. Then I go 30 kilometers that way and 30 kilometers back, and I feel like I'm getting stabbed.
Yep.
I don't get it. So,
Gremlins.
gotta be human gremlins.
Yep.
Getting old sucks, bro.
Hey, yes, it does. So Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. I started watching at 8-ish, figuring that's when it started.
Right.
Nope.
Started at 7.
Started at 7. So I missed the women's Money in the Bank match.
Okay. I know Naomi won that.
Naomi won that.
Which, whatever.
Yeah, well, you know. And then it was when I turned it on, what was I watching? It was a Dominic Mysterio versus
Octagon Jr.
In a squash match of all. It felt like a squash match watching this.
Really?
Yeah.
And that they literally made that match that afternoon.
Yeah.
Because like Dom was at the Worlds Collide event that afternoon, and that's when he challenged him to the match. Mm-hmm. So, because there was only 4 matches initially announced for Money in the Bank.
Yeah. So there was a bunch of luchadors at the pay-per-view. Dom was giving them the stink eye and trash talking them. They're sitting there. Like the thing that blows my mind the most out of all of this, especially now that AAA is part of TKO, fucking Vikingo is in a WWE ring. Mm-hmm. I never, ever, ever thought that was going to be a thing. And there's Vikingo.
There he is, yeah.
And I'm just like, this is what fucking bizarro world are we living in now? And then, did you see Mr. Iguana?
I saw clips of the match at Worlds Collide that he was involved in, and saw he was at ringside.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about...
I know nothing about
The only thing that I know about Mr. Iguana is from the clips and like this, and everybody's going fucking wild for Mr. Iguana.
Yep.
Again. I don't understand.
Nope.
But hey, if it makes the fucking kids happy, who am I to argue?
It's not about making the kids happy. It's about making the money.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It'll be a different story if his merch don't sell.
They're gonna sell so many of those fucking stuffed iguanas.
Oh, no doubt.
So
those are the first things to go.
Oh yeah.
How many of the Cobra sock things did they sell back in the day with Santino?
Exactly. And if Hiromu from New Japan, ever brought his stuffed cats?
Oh yeah, yep.
Do you know how you would not be able to keep those things in stock?
Nope. Yep.
I don't understand wrestling anymore.
No.
It's not for me. It's not me. It's not for me.
Yep.
It's for the new peeps. It's their thing. It's fine. Do what you want. So Dominic squashed Octagon Jr. That's what it felt like to me.
Okay.
And then what was the match after that?
Is that the Becky Lyra?
Becky Lyra.
For the women's IC title?
Yeah. I'm so over Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
Where I don't understand why everybody thinks she's the greatest women's wrestler on the planet.
You got her name wrong. It's Becky Hogan.
They
keep comparing it.
Becky Cena, Becky Ho.
Yep.
I don't see it. I really don't.
Me either. And
again, not for me. It's for the kids. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they kept hyping up that Lyra Valkyria was 2-0 over Becky. And I'm just like, yep, we're definitely getting a title switch. It's so apparent.
Okay.
They did the double down on the outside of the ring. And most times when they do that, they have a 10 count to get back in. So they do, like, you get to 8. And that's when everybody does the emergency roll into the ring.
Yep.
Well, these two decided to, like, really pump up the drama. And they got to 9.
Oh, geez.
And all of a sudden, both of them jump up like they're fine and roll into the ring. So they're both selling, and it takes them 9 seconds to get back to 100% good to go.
That's how it works in the video games.
Right. And they both dive into the ring at the exact same time. Okay. Whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
Whatever. Lyra somehow picked up a wound on her back. So
what stupid table spot or
I think
apron bump did they do?
They it wasn't that bad. I think there was either a bump into the table or a bump into the ring post, and it just
He disagrees. It was a good match.
Yeah,
he enjoyed it.
Fucking enough.
He quit bad-mouthing Becky. That's what I'm saying.
So, no, I was not a fan of that match. Then we had the men's Money in the Bank match.
Mm-hmm. I saw one spot highlight from it.
The ladder?
The destroyer.
Oh, yeah.
The ladder. And who took that bump? Andrade. Just like I said he would.
Yeah.
I said the only reason he's in that match was to take the stupid ladder bump.
What you didn't see, poor Andrade. Before that, there was everybody was on the floor, and I can't remember who had the ladder. Might have been Penta. Was doing like just smashing people with the ladder, and he throws the ladder down to do his pose, like, yes, I've beaten up everybody, and the leg of the ladder hit Andrade right in the balls.
Oh, jeez.
I'm just like, oh. Ow.
Damn.
Like, you could hit him square, and he instantly reacted like, like this. I was like, oh man, that's just
I'm not getting paid enough for this shit.
This is bullshit. And then I'm keeping an eye on Andrade throughout the rest of the match. There's a couple times just like he's supposed to be in a spot for a spot, and he's like dragging himself to get to there. And like there was a couple times the referees were walking like, you okay? You like, can he go? It's like, I can go. I can, like, I'm
having trouble breathing. One of my testicles is in my throat.
Oh, like, it's like when Penta threw that ladder down, it's just like, whack. And I'm like, oh. Yeah, I felt bad for Andrade at that point in time.
I want to, but I don't know if I can.
Okay, fine. So Seth freaking Rollins ends up winning the match.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's like, this is bullshit.
So did Jacob Fatu cost Solo? Like, I know how I hate you Solo thing. I hear about that.
Well,
what was Jacob Fatu's involvement?
So Seth calls Breaker and Bronson Reed down. Mm-hmm. They lay waste to everybody. And then Bronson and Breaker are shoving Seth up the ladder. Then all of a sudden Fatu and JC Mateo come running out.
Okay.
And they make the save. Chaos ensues. Jacob Fatu gives Bronson Reed, the Samoan drop. And I'm just like, good Lord.
That's a lot of beef.
It's
Damn.
Yes, Bronson Reed came off the ropes and he had momentum to get up into that position for that.
Right.
But still,
Yep.
Jacob Fatu had to stand there for a couple seconds with Bronson Reed on his shoulders.
Three bills at least.
Easy. And he hits this Samoan drop, and he almost dropped him on a ladder that was propped up in the corner.
Oof.
And I'm just like, careful. That big dude's fragile. But he hit this Samoan drop on Bronson Reed, and everyone's like, wow.
Surprised the ring didn't collapse.
Yeah. And then they set the ladder up. At one point in time, like Solo and Jacob Fatu are sitting and like, I love you. And we're like, okay, here comes the switch somewhere along the line.
Well, I saw the clip from SmackDown.
Yeah.
Where Solo was talking to Mateo, and he was saying how Jacob's just all gas, no brains.
Yeah.
And Jacob was just around the corner, heard the whole thing. So kind of knew this was coming.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
So they set up a ladder. Solo and Jacob are in the ring together. They're setting up the ladder. They didn't like the way the ladder was set up, so they turned the ladder. That was fine like this. So
had to remember what spot they were about to do.
I don't know. It's just like, which way is the camera? And we want to make it look best. So Jacob's go get up there. And like Solo's like, yeah? They're like, yeah, go. It's like, I got you. I love you. I love you. Okay. So Solo starts climbing the ladder. He's just about there, and Jacob Fatu grabs him by the ankle. And this completely nullifies any strength that Solo Sikoa has.
Yeah.
Because he cannot lift his foot off the rung of the ladder to make that one more step up to be able to capture the title.
Yes.
Jacob Fatu pulls Solo. No. Solo looks down and is like, why is my foot not working? I cannot move my foot. I am welded to this ladder. He looks down and he sees Jacob Fatu holding his ankle. I was like, everybody's like, oh, fuck. He's going to die. And Solo's like, WTF, bro? And Jacob looks at that like, I hate you. And he pulls him down and he does a thing. Kills Solo Sikoa.
Cool.
At that point in time, Breaker and Bronson Reed recover, clear the ring. Everybody wanted LA Knight to win this match.
Yep.
LA Knight should have won this match.
Yes.
It's like one of the memes I saw today is like, what more does LA Knight have to do?
Yep. 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
They have not pulled that trigger.
And there was a counter meme to that. It had a picture of Karrion Kross and a picture of LA Knight. And it's like, see, that's what you get for getting yourself over.
Yep.
And I'm just like, have we not learned anything from Matt Cardona?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the way that the business is. You can't get yourself over. I thought that idea and mentality was dead with Vince gone. Nope.
Not at all.
So
number one shirt on the shop. Don't care.
Don't care.
Even though that's the exact argument they had when Jey Uso was first getting his push to go for the title.
Right.
That was the exact argument I kept hearing about. His Yeet shirts are outselling everybody's.
Yeah.
Well, explain Karrion Kross then.
Yeah.
Because his shirt's been number one for weeks now.
Yep. Yeah. I don't even think Karrion Kross was on this show.
He wasn't. He wasn't. The only TV time Kross has gotten is on their main event show, which is like, I don't even know where it airs. And he usually gets one backstage segment lately between Sami Zayn or AJ Styles on Raw. That's it. That's the extent of his TV exposure.
I'm baffled.
But every time he's on main event, the crowd goes fucking crazy.
Yeah. The dude knows how to get himself over. He's taken the Matt Cardona get yourself over hustle mentality. And yes, he's on WWE, the biggest platform on the planet, but he's being wasted.
Yep.
He needs to be a better utilized character.
You see his tease this week that he signed a new contract?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
It was for audiobooks.
Yeah.
To do the audio of his audiobook.
I saw that. I knew it wasn't what everybody thought it was.
Definitely not.
So I'm just like, you're such a tease.
Yep. No, he's a troll.
Yeah, he is a troll. Totally a troll.
Because it worked.
It did work. Speaking of it did work.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So we get to the main event.
Main event.
Jay Uso, Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul.
Fuck Logan Paul.
Yeah, like this is going to be a long segment.
Yes,
if you
it
keep
is.
That. So
Yes,
just
it is.
keep that in check. Get one out. Get a good one out now.
Fuck Logan Paul.
All right, now let.
I'll try.
You'll try.
No promises. I'll try.
John Cena,
Okay.
the last real heavyweight champion.
God, you know what? I want that to happen. I do.
Yeah.
I want that to happen. I know it won't, but I want it to.
Yeah. The crowd, I think they started to go bananas for Jey Uso. The entrance, he's got a great entrance. Everybody liked it.
I admit when you're there in person, yes, you're going to feel
Yeah.
it. Your arms are going up and down. I don't care who you are. You're there in person. You're going to eat. It's going to happen.
But as this match went on, everybody's like, I don't know about this Jey Uso.
Because he's not anything past the entrance. He's not.
He, the bad guys, you know, I didn't say the trigger.
Yep.
The bad guys got the heat on Cody. No, they got the heat on Jay.
Okay.
And they were beating the living shit out of him for a long time.
Do it. Keep going.
Yeah, keep him on the mat. Different moves, different they just kept Jey Uso on the mat. They kept teasing the hot tag to Cody, where they're just like the inches kind of thing, and Cody's like alligator arm the shit at,
Yep,
and like
yep.
almost, but not quite.
T-Rex.
T-Rex, yeah. There was during Logan Paul's.
Fuck Logan Paul.
All right. Entrance.
You gave me one.
I gave you one. I gave you one. He did the thing where he caught the drone.
God damn it. It went up my nose. Fuck.
That's got to feel good.
I saw that clip.
Yeah. So he catches the drone and he's like, oh, look at that. And like, I think it was like Barrett. He was like, holy shit, he caught the drone. I'm like, not a big deal. The drone pilot landed it in his hand.
You know they got a good drone pilot.
They got a really good drone pilot.
We've seen their work. They've done some phenomenal drone shots.
Right. So they do this, and I'm just like, I wonder if this is the Chekhov's gun. So they go through the match. They're doing the thing. Logan Paul gets up to the top rope. He calls for the drone. And then the drone pilot's like, oh, that's me.
Yep.
So he flies the drone. Logan Paul is standing on the top rope. The drone lands in his hand. He's just like, aha, watch this. This is going to be spectacular. And he's looking at the drone and he's like, oh, I'm taking way too long. Cody runs up the top rope, grabs Logan Paul, gives him a superplex. I will give Logan Paul credit for hanging the fuck on to that drone through that entire move. Take the bump off the top rope. The drone lands there in his hands. He's still well within frame. Then off frame, Jey Uso jumps 3/4 way across the ring and lands with a splash on Logan Paul, and the drone flips all over the place. I'm going like, that was pretty fun. I never saw it coming. I've never seen it before. Nobody's seen it before. And I'm just like, oh, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, using a drone like that, sure. Okay.
Yeah. So like, it must have been a cheap drone because everybody's like, you know what? That's a lot of people landing on a drone. because we didn't see any more drone shots from that point
course
on.
not.
So, going on and on, they clear off the tables because somebody's going to do something stupid. Cena cleans the tables off because he wants to do an AA on Cody to the Spanish announce tables from the other table. Cody jumps off and Cena turns around perfectly to take a perfectly timed spear from main event Jey Uso.
Yay.
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 Cena falls off. Jey Uso is now laying on the table for some reason. I guess the spear that he gave Cena hit Cena's abs of steel.
Yeah.
Jey Uso's laying there. And Logan Paul.
Shades of Bret Hart and Goldberg when Bret had the
Steel plate in his jacket?
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe. Stealing from the best.
Yep.
Logan Paul does a cobrada. They call it an acai moonsault.
Okay.
Look fantastic.
Okay.
I know you hate the man where he is, but you have to give his athletic ability a little bit of credit.
Sure, he can learn choreography.
Right.
Sure. Yep.
But he also fucked up some of the choreography earlier in the match because
he's not a wrestler.
No. Because he was trying to do the buckshot lariat. So he goes to do the flip over the top rope, and when he lands, his one foot slips, so he's like, oh.
Oh, just like Punk.
Yeah.
Like when Punk tried it way back in AEW.
Right. So he's all wobbly and shit. Jey Uso goes, I shall improvise, and kicks the living fuck out of Logan Paul's face with a super kick.
Can he just keep doing that?
No, he just like kept spamming.
Yes, that's
the super kick
that's
button.
What I want. That's what I want.
Yeah. No, but as we're going along, John Cena gets the championship belt and he whacks Cody in the face with it.
Yep.
Cody's like, oh no, and he goes down.
Yep.
All of a sudden we get a mysterious man in black rushes the ring, picks up the title, whacks Cena with it, and starts feeding him punches. And everybody's like, who could this be? And the mysterious man in black stands up, pulls his hood off, and it's Ron Killings.
You used the right name.
Yes. Yes. And everybody's like, what?
Yeah.
And Ron Killings just like, that's right. And jumps out. And like the announcers are going like, Ron Killings doesn't work here anymore. Then I'm going like, then why is he running to the back?
Exactly.
So if you want to do something like that, you got to disguise it a little bit better.
Now, the backstory for those who may not know
or care.
That dude was released earlier this week.
No, not released. Was not going to renew his contract.
That's right. Sorry. Yes. The wording is particular. Yes. But
yeah.
So he was essentially done with the company as of, I think, was it Sunday he made that announcement?
Yes. So we labored under the illusion all week that the world is out of our truth.
That wasn't an illusion. That wasn't an illusion. No, it wasn't.
No?
No. That legit happened.
Yeah.
And then the online backlash came up.
Yeah.
And all the people from the back, all the other workers that were shocked by it too, all their backlash, all that. The company tried then, within 24 to 48 hours of that coming out, did try to reach out to him to re-sign. And he wasn't taking their calls.
Nope.
It wasn't until Nick Khan himself,
the boss of bosses,
called Killings to get something worked out. And they worked out the deal sometime within the last 2 days.
Yep.
So
fantastic.
It was not in the books. Triple H saying it's all part of the story is fucking bullshit.
What?
He that's what he said at the press conference.
What?
He said it's good. It's all part of the story. Bullshit.
What?
Bullshit.
Come on. Don't be like that.
Bullshit.
It's fine. It's fine.
But you know what? This is a company that, shares similar. I can't think of the right wording here, but Donald Trump is in the Hall of Fame. Okay, he's a part of the. He's connected with this company.
Wow.
And so, Taco,
Yeah.
same thing. They had to change their mind. They had to chicken out. They had to call him back because of the backlash that they got.
I can see that.
I am still intrigued by it. I am slightly intrigued by this now. Mm-hmm. Because he's back and he's using Ron Killings.
For now.
For now.
Well,
They got that's the shirt. They came out with it. They had a shirt drop on the shop after the pay-per-view ended.
What?
I already had the shirt ready.
What?
Not that it takes long for them to whip that shit up, but
that makes it sound like this was all part of the plan.
no, it doesn't take them long to Photoshop a friggin' shirt design.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
Come on.
You know I'm right.
Game over, man. It's game over.
This has been the Three Nose Podcast. Thank you for listening.
You're still here? It's over. Go home.
Y'all come back now. Cheers.
You feel better?